All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is my second custom campaign. It's actually set in the same world as my other campaign, but completely different continent, possibly a different time. We don't know. Well, they don't know. I know. They don't know. And yeah, this is our third episode. I am unfortunately still very much under the weather, so depending on how things go, it may be a short episode again. Though the last time I said that, we went on for 3 hours. So we will see what happens. And as always, if you miss any of it, you can always head over to youtube.com/TrenderJody and catch up there. So, to kind of bring you guys all back into the world. You guys, starting with the commander, the commander was approached by a woman that I now remember because one of my players was kind enough to go back and look, named Abigail, who approached the commander to try and save her village, which this noble from one of the local vampire cities has basically procured some forged documents that claim that he owns the land and he's trying to get them all off the land for some reason that no one understands. They tried to mount a resistance and all of their fighters were killed in an explosion. So Abigail went out looking for anybody to help them, and found the commander, whose reputation had preceded him. And the commander heard the situation, got some plans, realized this was not a one-man job, and figured he would try and recruit some help along the way. He picked up a couple different people, and a few more people kind of showed up with their own motivations as to why they're there. And as you all kind of met, remarkably enough, in a tavern, the noble came in and tried to scare everybody into leaving, and you guys were able to kind of call his bluff, and he left very, very angry. Afterwards, Briar went and followed the group a little bit just to see where they were going. As they got further and further away, she came back, and you guys met a hunter who decided to help you due to some guilty feelings, and help you find the camp, kind of the staging area where the troops were being marshaled for the eventual sacking of this town. When you guys got there, you kind of circled around, got as much information as you could, and Briar decided to go ahead on her own to see if she could get a little bit more information than was currently available to you guys. And she was actually able to get into the tent of what she assumed was the leader of these people. And right as she was about to start attempting to listen in, that's where we ended it last week. So that is where we're going to pick up. So, Briar,
Yeah.
you have very silently gotten your way into this tent. Remind me again. You were stealthed.
And I cast invisibility on
And you
me.
cast invisibility, so you are technically invisible right now. And the tent that you got into, again, is a very, very large tent. And there are hanging draperies and things like that that kind of cordon off the tent a little bit and create different rooms and things like that. And they also effectively soundproof the inner room of the tent from the outside, just because of all the different hanging fabrics and things like that. It just traps the sound. And seeing the inside of the tent and how everything is hung and everything, you kind of get the idea that this was done intentionally, so that whoever was inside the tent could have meetings and things like that without everybody hearing. So you have huddled in one of these side, quote-unquote, rooms, which is formed by just a bunch of hanging cloths and things like that, and have slowly inched your way forward to look in the center of the tent. And peering out between hanging cloths, you can see the center of the tent itself is relatively lavish. You can see some really nice furniture in various places. And you can tell, just based on your own history and some of the places that you have been, you can tell that this is not like cheap knockoffs or things that are designed to look more expensive than they are. These are actually high quality pieces of furniture. Some of them have gold inlaid in the wood and things like that to make them that much more valuable. The upholstery and everything like that is very, very finely done and things. So this is wealth on display. And so you see furniture and chairs and couches and things like that. You also see a very large circular table in the middle that has a piece of paper on it. You are currently crouching down to remain as hidden as physically possible. Despite the fact that you're invisible, you still take up space, and because of the fact that there are hanging draperies and stuff like that, there's still a chance that you could be technically silhouetted if something draped against you and actually hit you. So you're still keeping a relatively low profile. So unfortunately, because of that, you can't see what the paper itself is, but it's very, very large. And you can see there are markers on it, like just little metal things. You've seen them used before for war campaigns and things like that, or battles where they'll mark where enemies are entrenched and things like that. So just through deduction, you get the idea it's probably a map. But to be able to see what the map is and everything, you would have to get pretty close, because it's just an odd angle. And the table itself is relatively high. So sitting there, you can see that there are three men standing there, one of which you recognize immediately. It is the noble. He's standing there, and he is wearing, again, very, very fine garments that are not... They're designed to look nice. They are not functional in any way, shape, or form. But they are very, very nice. They're very, very high quality. They're probably relatively comfortable. Really, really, really nice stuff is never super comfortable. But if you pay enough, you can get it pretty comfortable. And he's red in the face. And it seems like you've come into the conversation in the middle somewhere. Standing next to him are two different people. One you kind of somewhat recognize. The face looks kind of familiar. And he's dressed in dark leathers. Very functional. You can see a pair of daggers on his belt. You can see a light crossbow sitting on the table near him. It's obvious this is one of the guys that was with the noble when they went to try and intimidate you. So you recognize him. You can't 100% remember which one he was, but he's like, yeah, you look familiar. And the third person you don't recognize. They are wearing a black cloak that is currently mostly closed, and their back is to you. So you can really only see, you do see that the hood is down. So you can see the back of their head. And they have kind of a sandy brown hair that's cut relatively short. And you can see some slight pointing to their ears, which would indicate that they have some elven heritage in them, but are not full-blood elves. But beyond that, you can't see anything because the cloak obscures literally everything else about this person. And so, as you're sitting there, you hear the noble just screaming. And you're actually kind of impressed that you didn't hear this from the outside, because now that you're in and you only have a couple pieces of cloth in between you and him, he's very, very loud. So the soundproofing of this tent is remarkably good. But he's screaming, "I cannot! I mean, I paid for all your men, and you ensured me that your stupid trick would dishearten these people, and they would just go away. And then they didn't. And you're like, well, don't worry. We can just go in, and a simple show of force, and they will be leaving in droves. And yet, here I am, standing in this dirty, God-forsaken tent, much, much longer than I ever wanted to. And they are still in their homes. They are still probably in that blasted tavern, drinking and having a wonderful time. You were hired and ensured me that this would not happen." And finally, the man dressed in leathers goes, "My lord, I was not expecting them to be successful in finding help. This is a backwater, small, insignificant town. I cannot understand why these people would be willing to help these worthless farmers. They are not even worth the time it will take to kill them. The fact that these people have shown up, well, to be honest, it makes me think there is more here going on than I was originally told. And the price that I agreed to was based on the information that you gave me. And now I think I'm finding out the information that you gave me is not as complete as you had me believe before. And that worries me. This is not a negotiation. This is not a time for you to try and negate our deal. Money has changed hands. I don't really care if you feel that you know everything about this. I paid you to not ask questions. Yes, you did, but there is a difference between secrecy and withholding important information. If you want to keep your motives behind this secret, it is none of my business. You paid for discretion. I give you discretion. My men give you discretion. But the commander has shown up. This is not a man that you anger. I have friends that have angered him, or rather, I had friends that have angered him. He does not choose to do things lightly. And the fact that he has tells me there is more at stake here. Had you told me that from the beginning, I may have brought different men with you. And during this entire conversation, this third figure has just been sitting there, not saying anything. And suddenly you see the cloak ruffle a little bit. And again, because his back's to you, you can't really tell what he's doing. But it moves, and it's obvious that he's doing something with one of his arms. And you suddenly hear, I don't think it would be wise for you to continue this line of questioning, Mordecai. I am very sorry, but I have a job to do. In order for me to do it, there are certain things that I must know. And what you are asking about is not one of those things. Do I make myself clear? I was paid to do a job. I was given very specific parameters for that job, and now the parameters have changed, and you are telling me that I am not allowed to... You will not raise your voice to me. Do we understand? Forgive me. And he turns to the noble. My lord, I have planning to do. These new heroes must be dealt with in a very different way than the rest of the cannon fodder that were there before. I will take my leave from you, if you allow it. Get out of my sight! My lord, sir, and he kind of nods his head at the cloaked figure and walks away. Kynan. I understand the need for secrecy, but if you ever interrupt me and disrespect me in front of one of my employees like that again, there will be no... And he stops talking instantly. And you see this kind of look of pain on his face. Oh, I think you want to choose your next words very, very carefully. Oh, you seem speechless. Well, I would be too if I had made such a blunder as to insult someone of my caliber by insisting that they were not allowed to talk to one of your... Wait a minute. I believe they are my employees, since I am the one who has hired you. And the noble just sits... Yes, that must be right. Oh, but don't worry. I understand how confusing this must be for you. So if you would simply nod your head, I will accept that that means that you are very, very sorry for even thinking to raise your voice to me. And then you see him kind of drop to his knees as he... Wonderful. Lord Venonquest, I believe we've had a bit of a growth moment in our relationship. Don't you? Yes, Lord Kynan. Wonderful. Well then, I have other things to worry about. I'm sure you should be able to uphold the terms of our contract, even with these new setbacks, right? Yes. Wonderful. So, 4 weeks. Goodbye. And you see the room itself gets darker and darker and darker. And you can't really tell what it is. And then everything is normal and the cloaked figure is not there anymore. What would you like to do, Briar?
That's 2 pages of notes I just took. I'm gonna try and quietly get out of the tent because I have so much information.
All right. I just need a stealth check with advantage. See if you can get out as easy as you got in.
20, not natural.
Okay. You walk through, you brush against a few pieces of cloth that you're less than happy that you do. Because again, anytime you touch something, especially these hanging cloths and draperies and things like that, they outline your body really well. They'll cling to you and things like that. So you're less than thrilled when you brush up against a few things that you shouldn't. But you are able to make it back to the edge of the tent. From what you can see, no one has discovered the slit that you made. You very gingerly kind of crawl underneath it. And as you come outside, you see the river. You don't see anyone around you. And looking across the way, you can see where you left the rest of the group. But you cannot see them currently.
Uh-oh.
You couldn't see them before. Like they're hidden in behind things. You know,
Okay.
they're in the tree line. There's rocks and things like that.
Yeah.
You assume they're probably still hidden.
I'm gonna do my sneaky water serpent dance again
Okay.
and go back across the river.
All right. One more stealth check. This time without advantage. Because you still displace water being invisible.
23.
Okay. You're fine. You guys go. You guys, watching from the other side, who is actually up at the river's edge? Remind me. I know the commander's there.
Yeah, I was there.
I believe me and Valor were the only ones that weren't.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm there. And, I was there.
Okay. So you guys remember watching Briar basically disappear under the water, reappear at the other side without making a noise, kind of wander around a little bit, wander back, go into the tent, and then nothing happened for like 20 minutes. And you started getting a little bit antsy, and then you saw her step out of the tent again, kind of descend into the water again, barely making a ripple, and then you didn't see her again anymore. Eventually, Briar, you're able to approach them without them seeing you. Is there anything special you want to do? Unless somebody has a passive perception over 23.
Yeah, no.
I didn't think so.
Let me stop.
I'm just gonna walk up to a rock that's still hidden from the other side of the river.
Mhm.
I'm gonna sit on it and then dispel invisibility.
Okay. So you guys are just sitting there, and then Briar is there.
Giving that little finger wave, like, hey.
Neat trick.
Guys, when is she getting back? I just haven't seen her. Where is she? When is she getting here?
I
Hey,
kind of
Oh.
turned the commander to face her.
okay, so lots to tell you, but not here. Let's go back with everybody else.
Okay.
All right. So you guys head a couple 100 feet back into the forest where Val and Henri are waiting. Val and Henri, you guys have had about half an hour to yourselves. Is there anything you guys have done in this half an hour while you're just kind of chilling?
I would have hid behind a tree, just being how careful I usually am.
Mm-hmm. So Val, you watch as Henri kind of attempts to kind of disappear behind one of the trees.
Is it night? It's nighttime, correct or no?
It is currently nighttime, yes.
Okay. I just kind of find a nice, small, secluded spot and start playing with dancing lights.
Okay.
Butterflies and stuff.
So as you guys come back, you see these four kind of ghostly-looking orbs moving around in the area where Vala and Henri were before. And as you get closer, you can see it's Vala is controlling these globes of very dim light. And at Vala, as you see them, do you turn it off? Do you keep it on? What?
As I hear them approach, I'll snuff them out.
Okay. So you guys are all back together. For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of the hunter.
Colin.
Colin. That's
Yeah,
what
Colin.
I thought. I wasn't sure. I use that name a lot in my games. I have to make sure I don't have multiple Collins running around. It's a really popular
Colin
name in Triregna. So Colin's there along with the rest of you guys. What do you want to do?
I start spilling everything.
So you guys basically, she explains what it is that she just heard.
And I make a point to emphasize that it's the cloak dude, Lord Kynan, who's the true leader, and not Lord Noble Douchebag.
Lord Venom Quest.
Would any of those names ring a bell for me?
Roll me a history check.
Oh, and I also make sure they know about the weird darkness thing, because that is super cool.
History 16.
History 16. The name Venomquest is not a noble family that you are familiar with, which
Okay.
probably means they're a minor noble family.
Okay.
Wealthy enough, again, to be nobility, but not really important enough for anyone outside of like their direct the area that they live in to care about them. Most of the big noble families, you would at least be familiar with the name because the names are part of history. You know,
Yeah.
the nobles will have participated in skirmishes and things like that. So that at least tells you you're dealing with a pretty low guy in the totem pole. Lord Kynan, nothing. You're not familiar with. Kynan is not a last name. It's not a surname. So Lord Kynan doesn't actually tell you a whole lot other than the fact that this noble thinks that he's more important than the noble, and his first name is Kynan. It is slightly bizarre to refer to a noble by their first name, but it's not unheard of.
Okay.
When
Would I?
Sorry, I was just gonna say when Preach talks about the darkness trick and how cool that was.
Mhm.
I cast darkness, hide behind a tree, and then dispel the darkness.
Hey, I can do that too.
Would I have heard of Mordecai?
Roll me a history check.
10.
10. The name's not sounding familiar.
Okay.
Based on the description that Briar gave you, he could be one of a number of kind of mercenary leaders, which you kind of assume that's what this was, as opposed to like a set mercenary group, like what's your brother's group's name again?
The Blue Wolves.
Yeah, the Blue Wolves.
No.
Like the Blue Wolves, they are a set group that works together and may work with other mercenary groups from time to time. This person, you get the idea that he is a mercenary procurer. Some groups operate more on you have a leader and maybe a couple other people that belong to this group, and then they just hire whatever mercenaries are around. Any swords for hire that are around to fill out their company whenever they need it. It means that the company itself doesn't have to be anywhere near as big in order to be able to take a very large variety of jobs, but it also means that they sometimes will have to deal with substandard help, and that their hired help is not going to be. They're not going to know each other as well as someone like the Blue Wolves does, where they know what each other member is going to do and work much better as a group. So that's kind of the two different types of mercenary groups you generally tend to see, either set groups that always work together, or these kind of mercenary general type things that form militias and things like that. But the actual core group itself is very, very small. No more than maybe 3-4 people max. And the name itself, Mordecai, is not an uncommon name.
Okay.
So, and again, you generally tend to know the names of the groups over the members unless they are famous. So.
Well, they're coming for us. At least that's what you made it sound like.
Oh yeah, they do not like that the commander is here or that he has allies. And then something's gonna happen in 4 weeks.
I think that's how long this Lord Venom quest has to procure the lands.
Before something worse comes in, I'm sure.
Yeah. But he thought it was going to take a lot less time than that. Like, he thinks he should already be done.
Well, and Commander, you would kind of piece together the idea that if the person in the cloak, Lord Kynan, was described the way that he did and spoke the way that he did, it probably means that they have plans that have to start in 4 weeks. Meaning, in 4 weeks, not only do all the people have to be gone, all the buildings have to be gone, or whatever it is that this group needs done has to be completely finished. So that's probably why they were expecting it, to take so much less time. Because they're going to need, after they get rid of all the people, they have other things they have to do.
So here's what we do. We build an exact replica of the city half a mile away. Okay. Place of Sal's reference.
Candy
Har,
gram
har,
for
har.
Mongo.
Just another side note, because it's bothering me in my character now. There's been no animals this entire time, right?
Yeah, no birds chirping, nothing.
I'm trained in nature. Do I know what this is?
Roll me a nature check.
Okay, different dice.
Roll me some
Eight.
nature.
18.
18. So there's a number of different reasons why animals would vacate a very heavily wooded area like this. None of them are good. If there was, there's sometimes if strong magical spells, like especially like necromantic spells, happen in an area, they can kind of taint the area and scare the wildlife away. If there's something just bad that's happened, like poison has been leaked out or anything, that can scare them away. Or if there is something that is disrupting just the local plant life, like recently clear-cut forest or something like that, animals will stay away from that area for a long amount of time, or a longer amount of time than normal. Yes, the only thing you could really tell is it's weird that you don't hear birds and things like that, and generally something bad has to happen to do that. There are, with you being trained in nature, there are instances where animals have fled an area before something bad happens. They have some sort of a sixth sense. But again, all of these things have one thing in common: something bad happens.
I'm just kind of like looking off a bit, and then I just go to the group, and I'm just like, this area gives me a bad feeling, though.
How so?
There's been no animals this entire time. It's never a good sign.
Well, we have two, from what I can think of, two choices really. We can go back, try and set up fortifications, try to deal with a full onslaught, which I don't think is the best thing to do. Or we try and cut the head off of the snake. One of the heads. At least this fake noble type person. We need to talk to him.
Question: how flammable did those draperies look, preacher?
How flammable did those grapes look, DM?
Make me an insight check. You're inciting a tent.
I'm inciting a tent. I rolled a 10. A 10 for tent.
More specifically, drapery.
You're not really an expert on drapery or anything like that. They were heavy. The fact that they soundproof probably means they're not going to catch fire super well, but they're cloth. Cloth burns. They're not they're not canvas like the outside of the tent. That's weather treated and things like that.
It was fabric, and fabric burns. So there's that.
Because
it also happens to be literally right next to a river. And there is a new invention that you all are aware of called a bucket. You think they may have access to that technology.
We're all doomed.
That's my nemesis right there, the bucket.
I mean,
there's more. Dear God.
Velikovia tried to keep that particular bit of technology away from Sanguinius and Fenrish, but was unable to. So all three countries have access to buckets.
One prize and firearms.
I'm just saying, if we want a distraction.
Valet, do you have like a love affair with fire?
Do you have a pyro thing going on?
Fire is life.
Fire needs things to live.
I don't feel like doing something with everybody here is
How is it two separate campaigns you guys have come to the conclusion that fire is always the answer? You're not even playing the same character.
No.
I don't feel like doing something right here with their entire encampment here would be the wisest decision.
I'm simply laying out options.
All right.
I'll chime in and
Heck
The
of a
problem is, in that tent, there are papers we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something on the table. It looked important.
What was on it?
I don't really know because I had a bad angle, short people problems. But it had metal thingies on it. It could have been a map. I'm thinking it's a map, but I don't want to make any assumptions because I'm not an ass. So
I'll come out from behind the tree and just say, how about we discuss this not so close to their encampment?
Well, we figured it'd be
Yeah.
kind of whispering and not actually, talking.
Yeah,
You
but I
guys-
imagine they set up scouts.
You
That's
guys
a fair
are
point.
far enough away that, and you're in a heavily wooded area. You're relatively certain that the sound would not carry from the conversation you guys are having to
As
to
soon
the
as-
camp.
as soon as Henri stepped out from behind a tree, I hissed at him.
It was mainly implying that there might be scouts and we should be on the lookout.
I just kind
Henri,
of-
because you said that, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Can I join in on this too? Make sure he says it.
I'm gonna let him do it first because he would have thought of it first before he said anything.
Gotcha.
23.
Okay, so looking around and with Argenta pointing out the fact that there are no animals, and having lived in the wild long enough, there's one thing that's really really useful about birds and things like that, especially at night, is when people are sneaking through a forest. The birds, when they get close to birds and things like that, the birds stop chirping. So you can actually use them if you know how to listen correctly. You can use them as kind of an early warning sign. And so ever since Argenta mentioned that there are no animals in the area, you've been a little bit on edge. And so looking around, you just started getting this feeling like you were being watched. And that's when you kind of came out and said, hey, maybe we should do this somewhere else. So looking around at that specific moment in time, you thought you saw some movement, but it's so dark right now that you can't really tell if that's just like wind or if that was someone, but you feel very much uneasy right now.
I do have 120 feet of dark vision, if that matters.
Yeah, yeah, you saw a little bit of movement, but that's it.
Okay. I'll relay that.
When I hear Briar hiss at our friend Henri, I kind of pat her head and I'm just like, he's nice enough.
That's too early to tell.
Yeah, do we really know him?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't trust any of y'all. So
I just kind of shrug, to each their own.
Commander, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Will this be a disadvantage since I'm human?
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
also apparently, y'all is a word in all worlds.
Of course. In all languages, I learned French. They have y'all is in French. It's vous.
My perception was 14.
So looking around, you're starting to get the same feeling that Henri was getting, where something doesn't seem right. You don't see anything, but you definitely get this kind of strange feeling that you're being watched.
Henri, I'm starting to get the same feeling you do. You're getting right now. I don't think we're alone right now.
Yeah, I say we start heading back.
Okay.
Alright.
Preacher, can you do your invisibility and try and keep an eye behind us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Preacher
head back.
has just moved to Georgia.
She's a woman of many, many accents. Just wait.
Oh, no.
Can't wait till the New Yorker comes out.
The New Yorker.
So you guys start kind of doing your wide circle to get across the river again and back towards the town.
Yep.
Cool. Who is leading the group?
Henri, you got the best dark vision.
I'll be towards the front with someone else, but I'll be up front.
I'll be up there with Henri.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll have Henri make me a survival check with advantage, since the commander's helping him.
18.
All right. So without too much difficulty, and with your superior dark vision, you're able to kind of move through. And I would like. I'm going to do it this way. Vala, I would like you to make me a perception check.
I can't tell if that's good or bad.
That is not real reassuring.
That was I rolled a 19, so 23.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop.
There you go.
Someone is as far as marching order is concerned, where are you in the group?
I think I would be in the middle, towards the back, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the caboose.
You notice from the right to your right, there are people approaching you incredibly stealthily, to the point where you're not 100% sure you've seen them, and that kind of reaffirms the fact that they're there to you. The fact that you saw something, then second-guessed yourself, and then realized it was someone that definitely understands stealth and how to move through a forest unseen, approaching you. And you get a what?
I was going to say, about how far away were they?
How far is your dark vision?
60 feet. We're the same race.
Yeah. So you within about 60-ish feet, a little bit further than that, because it's not technically completely pitch black. There are stars out and everything like that. So they're probably about 100 feet out, ish. Again, you can't really tell where they are specifically, but you are certain at this point there are a group of people that are very quickly approaching.
Okay. I'm just going to kind of call. I'm going to go up to the commander and say, "We've got company. Should I light it up?"
Again, the fire comes out. How many did you see?
Several.
You weren't able to get a head count. You know it's more than one.
Yeah, it was
Okay, that's the
more
right
than
number.
one, less than 100.
Really good specific words. Specificity.
While he's
Yeah,
saying
whatever.
that, where did the die go?
I'm a bard. I like to embellish.
Seriously, I totally just sleight of handed myself.
Nat 20 on stealth, or sleight of hand.
Briar,
Yeah, hi.
I need you to make me a perception check.
Perception. That's 24.
You are being surrounded. Again, you're remarkably impressed with your grasp of stealth and shadows and things like that. You're remarkably impressed how well these people are keeping out of sight. But you can now confirm not only the person that Vala saw at a glance, but you've seen at least two other people that are slowly moving into places to surround you guys.
I'm going to cast message to the commander and say, "We're being surrounded."
Commander, you can reply.
Uh,
And Briar will be the only person that hears you.
I'll reply. Can you get around out of the surrounding?
I can try. I'm going to try.
Okay, go ahead and make me a stealth check with advantage.
Natural 20.
All right. So as you start seeing them close in on you, you are able to kind of sidestep a little bit and get outside what is looking to be closer and closer to an ambush. But it starts happening so quickly that the rest of you guys are not really able to prepare that much before four beacons of light erupt around you guys. And you see four men dressed in black cloaks. With the cloaks right now are actually thrown back. The hoods are still up, but the cloaks are thrown back to make easier movement. And you can see under them they have this dark black and red armor, leather armor. Each one is gripping 2 knives. And they all have a strange belt buckle. It's the same. The belt buckle itself has a blood red gem in the center and has this strange, almost platinum looking setting that it's put in. It's this very intricate design. And you notice that each one of them, their daggers are glowing with what is obviously a light spell. And they all look in, and one of them goes, "It seems like we have some people here that are perhaps lost. My companions and I have decided to help you find your way."
Ah, yes, excellent. If you can just point us back to the tavern.
And I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
Nice try, Val. Nice try.
I mean, yeah, I like this new dice.
All right, Vala, what you got?
23.
Damn.
Not 20.
Argenta.
19.
Commander.
18.
Henri.
7.
Sorry, say that one more time.
7.
Okay. Briar.
21.
Lillian.
24.
Damn, you fast.
Seriously.
I'll just be back here in the single digits team.
Don't worry, you're not alone.
Sorry, buddy.
I mean, it's better than nothing, but damn. They have a decent dex mod. Beyond that, they're still having me roll for them. So, all at once, the lights extinguish. And you guys hear movement and things like that. And because it went from very bright to very dark, you guys actually can't currently see them for the first round of combat. Which you think might have been the purpose of igniting the lights. But Vala, you're up first.
Well, we need light. So I am going to pick a spot where I last saw one of them.
Mm-hmm. You don't think they could have moved that much since the lights went out. You kind of have that little night blindness thing going on right now.
And I'm going to cast Create Bonfire in that space. So
Oh,
that
You and
jeez.
fire.
Oh, boy.
so
Good news is,
Pyrophiliac over there.
good news is we killed them all. Bad news is the entire forest is now burned down.
so
Only you can
You want to know
prevent
why
force.
there's no animals here?
They heard the vigilante was arriving.
I had a reason. I've given that reason up. They knew Vala was coming. I
It's just a
am
disturbance of the force.
going to have you roll me a spell attack roll to just see exactly how precise you are creating a bonfire where there isn't technically a bonfire. You're going to be setting a tree on fire.
I'm creating a bonfire.
You're the anti-Yogi Bear.
12.
12. Okay. So you guys, all the lights go out, and then you guys see a small bush erupt into flames. And the entire area that you're in is now bathed in light. Do you know, did they give you specifics as to how much light it creates? I think it's either 30 and 30 or 60 and 30.
It does not say.
Okay. I'm going to say because it's a bonfire and not a torch would normally create 30 feet of bright light, 30 feet of dim light. I'm going to say this easily creates 60 feet of bright light and another 30 feet of dim light. And you guys can see the four people, like they're not hiding. They were in the dark. So you can see them now. They look less than pleased that you just erupted something in flame. And you do notice, Vala, that you were about 10 feet away from where the guy actually was. So he didn't get engulfed in the bonfire as you just randomly created fire. However, you didn't create it on any of your teammates either. So, I mean...
No,
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
So I believe
No
that's your
harm, that's all.
action.
That is my action. For my bonus action, I'll just look at our Genfit and go, half drowse. We get the job done.
Am I inspired?
You are now inspired.
Yay.
You get 1d6 inspiration die.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to do, Vala?
Uh,
Lillian was actually supposed to go first, so we'll finish your turn, and then Lillian will go.
And then I'll just kind of tip my hat to Lillian and say, after you.
So you can see. Sorry, 23 and 24 look real close. You guys all rolled really high.
Close enough.
You can see now. I mean, that's a benefit.
Yeah. I think it's you from Vala. I think it's Bruno. What a brilliant opportunity by Elizabeth friend. So I have that for myself as well.
Is that a longsword you use?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys watch as Lillian draws her longsword, brings it across her hand, and as the blood drips down, it erupts in flame, and now you have two sources of light. Lillian, your sword basically acts like a torch, I believe.
Yeah. That would be rules last year.
Okay. So, yeah, you now have, a flaming sword. You can see you guys are not really close clumped together. Because with the commander, you guys stayed out of fireball formation.
Yeah.
So Vala is on the opposite side of the group that you are. She's about like 20 feet away. And there is a figure an additional 25 feet past her. You also see there is a figure about 30 feet away from you. Looking back behind the group, there's a figure about 10, 15 feet away from the back of the group where Briar used to be. And looking at at Henri and the commander who are in the front, there's a guy about 20 feet ahead of them. You are in effect surrounded.
Yeah. I will move to the child. Quote Vala, I guess.
Okay. Since Vala is about 20 feet away from you, and that guy's about another 25 feet away,
Oh,
that would be 45 feet.
alright. Is that the other?
There's a guy. There's a guy next to you. There's a guy, 30 feet away from you. Because you're basically on the opposite side of the group that Vala is. You guys are on right and left sides.
Alright, I'll go with the guy that's 30 feet away from me.
So you guys watch as Lillian takes her flaming sword. She starts just running towards one of the guys who seems surprised at first and then just kind of prepares himself.
Go
for it.
That would be 23.
It misses. No, that hits.
That would be 28. Robert plus
they don't have any resistances or anything, so just give it to me as one big number.
Alright, that will be 13.
13?
Yeah.
And then your second attack?
Yeah. Well, do I kill him or
Oh no, he seems, he took the blow.
Alright.
He's not even really showing, like you hit his armor, and you singed him a little bit. He didn't even cry out in pain.
Alright. That will be 21 for my second attack.
You need a new D20.
That
Yeah, it definitely hits. Roll damage.
will be 8 plus. That will be 9 total.
All right. So you guys watch as Lillian dashes across the room and goes with her first strike, goes in and just slices against this guy, cuts his armor and singes it a little bit, and you see a slight grimace, and that's it. And then she comes around and slices again, hitting the other side of his armor, and again, very little reaction from him. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
Right. That's going to bring us to Briar. You
Okay.
are currently behind one of the guys. You're about 15 feet behind one. The one that's in the back of the group.
Yeah. Okay, so I
And he's
would
made
actually
no indication that he's aware of your presence.
Yeah. I would actually like to climb up a tree.
Okay.
I feel like this. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna climb up a tree, and then I'm gonna shoot him with my crossbow from the tree.
All right. I'm going to need a strength athletics check to climb the tree.
That's a 16.
16. Okay. So you're able to make it up the tree. However, climbing a tree and everything like that makes a lot of noise. So I do need a stealth check with disadvantage, despite the fact that you're invisible.
It's gonna be a 21.
With disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled an 11, and my stealth is plus 10.
Damn you, rogues. Yeah, no, that's just passive. I don't have a guy with passive perception. Dear God. You make it up. Go ahead and make your attack roll with advantage.
Yay! It's a it's a 16.
With advantage?
Oh, with advantage?
Yeah, because you're invisible.
Yeah, it's a 16.
Well, you fire off. Is this a hand crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay, so you fire off the hand crossbow bolt. Goes stoomp, hits him right in the shoulder blade.
Okay. It's a 6 damage.
With sneak attack?
Oh,
Because you have advantage, so you
Six.
have sneak attack.
12.
Math is hard.
Is that with your dex?
Sorry, I've never played a rogue before, so 16.
There we go.
Anybody else want to tell me to add more numbers?
Do you have hex? No, I'm kidding.
So you sit there, you fire. You notice that when you fire, you're having a little bit of hard time aiming simply because you can't see your crossbow. But you shoot where you think it should be. You hit him in the back, and you notice as soon as you let the bolt fly, you are no longer invisible.
Oh, yeah.
The guy immediately turns back around to look where the bolt came from and is looking in your direction. You don't know if he's seen you specifically, but you get a good idea he knows where the bolt came from.
Can I use my bonus action to hide behind a leaf?
You can attempt to.
I would like to attempt to.
Go for it.
Was that a stealth check again?
Yep,
Yes.
stealth check.
That is a 17.
All right. Since he's actively looking, I get to roll for this. All right, you think you're stealthed.
Okay.
I think I failed.
You don't know. Is that at your turn?
Just in case he does see me, I'm going to wink at him, and then that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Argenta, you are up next.
Okay, so I was kind of thinking I'm like in the middle front. So how far are they from me?
The one Lillian hit is 40 feet from you. The other one is 35 feet. The one that's closest to Val is 35 feet from you. The one at the back that Briar just hit is 30 feet from you, and the one ahead is 30 feet from you.
I'm going to head towards the one closest to Vala.
Okay.
And he was 35 feet?
35, yep.
Yep, I can make it. So as I sit there and I look over at him, I say, "The hunt is on." And I rage
Okay.
as I run him down.
So you guys watch as Argenta, what's your weapon again?
Hand axe
Hand axe.
and a shield. Yeah.
So you watch as Argenta kind of slams her hand axe and shield together, and just you can see her just get more and more angry, and her eyes get bloodshot, and she just makes a beeline for one of these guys, who again at first looks slightly startled because there's a large fire 10 feet away, but as soon as she sees you coming, she and this is female, she just kind of hunkers down with both of her daggers out and gets ready.
So the first thing that happens is I go for the axe swing, but instead my shield hand comes out. I'm going to try and grab her by the neck.
Technically, in order to grapple, you need a free hand, and holding your shield and having a weapon means you don't have a free hand.
Okay, can I shoulder check her then? To try and
you can make a shove attack, which can either
Yeah.
knock her prone or move her. I think it's 5 feet. So
I'm going to shoulder check her to try and knock her prone.
okay, that's contested athletics checks.
Yes, which I have advantage on.
Oh, these guys have awesome athletics. They are super muscly.
7.
And by super muscly, I mean they have a -2 modifier.
Oh boy.
What'd you get?
16.
Well, that beats my 11.
Okay. And so as soon as she goes on the ground, I come down with my hand axe.
Okay, you'll have advantage because she's prone.
That is a 16.
16. 16 hits. Roll damage.
Okay. 9 slashing.
Okay. All right, so you guys watch as Argenta just runs forward, and as you bring the hand axe up, the figure prepares her daggers, looking like she's preparing to parry, and then you just shoulder charge her and drive her into the ground. You hear the air escape from her lungs as you get up and just implant the axe deep into her shoulder. You hear a gasp of pain as she tries to get the air back into her lungs. Anything else you're doing with your turn?
Nope.
All right. That brings us to the commander.
You said the one that was closest to me is about 20 feet away?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have written down that I have a rapier. I never said that in the beginning, but I'll not use it if you don't want me to.
No, it would make sense that you would have a rapier. Again,
Melee weapon?
yeah, again, the firearms that you're used to dealing with are generally single shot.
Yeah.
So
I was-
most
Yeah.
most of the people that you used to belong to always had a melee weapon with them because
I just want to make sure I wasn't just speaking
yeah,
out.
no, that's fine. That makes perfect sense.
Okay. Then I will take off towards him, use my rapier, and make my 2 attacks on him.
Okay. So you guys watch as the commander starts moving forward. He reaches beneath his cloak, the opposite side of the device that you've seen him reach for before, and you hear the familiar sound of a sword unsheathing, and you see this relatively plain-looking but still well-made rapier come out as he rushes forward and lunges with his first attack.
First is an 18.
Definitely hits.
I'm just going to roll and roll both.
Go ahead.
Both.
That's fine.
Second one is 16.
Both of those hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. And that's just a D8 plus Dex, no proficiency, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
Mhm.
First one is 9, and the second one is, what is that? 7? Yeah, 7.
So 9, 7, 16 total.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you guys watch as he comes forward, and the lunge goes through, hits the armor, and pierces it a little bit. He comes around and goes for this very quick counter thrust at the leg and pierces just beside the leg armor as well. Again, they don't seem to be doing much other than grimacing. The most reaction you've heard out of them is after Argenta took one to the ground, which is weird. You have fought and killed people before. They generally tend to react poorly to being stabbed. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Is there any chance I could make a perception check just to see if they actually are bleeding from this wound, or is there just...
Sure. Go ahead and make me a perception check. We'll call it a bonus action.
Or is that investigation or be perception?
I'll say perception.
Okay. I'll take that. That's a 20, not natural.
I mean, they're not bleeding out. You don't think you've really done enough damage for that to happen. But from what you can see, they don't seem to be immune to the damage that they're taking. They're just not reacting to it.
Okay. I just want to make sure there's actually blood coming out of the wound.
Yeah, they're not. The blows that you guys have made have not been deep enough or serious enough that they would be bleeding at this point. But it's not like, I mean, you've fought things like were creatures in general. If you stab them with non-magical weapons or non-silvered weapons, you don't even pierce the skin. Like you hit there and nothing happens.
Okay.
That's not what's happening here.
And that's it.
So yeah, that'll end your turn. I rolled super awesome for initiative, so Henri, you're up.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Question: the one that Commander just charged,
Mhm.
would he be considered in dim light or darkness?
Due to the fact that the bonfire is there, none of them are in dim light right now. The bonfire is putting 60 feet of bright light, which is getting all of them in bright light. In dim light, technically the commander would have disadvantage on his attack rolls.
Oh, do I need to reroll for those?
No, because he's in bright
Okay.
light.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, I hate light sources. I'll still do it.
Sorry.
I'll kind of do the I'm a killer in a slasher movie, walk up to the guy and with my bonus action cast Shadow Blade and attack him.
Okay. So you guys watch as Henri very slowly just starts moving forward, and for the first time you actually see his hand protruding from his cloak. And question for you, how covered up, like, do you wear gloves and things like that, or...
Yeah.
Okay. So you see this gloved, black leather glove come out and just kind of extend forward, and you see the shadows that are being cast by the bonfire just start to kind of collect in the palm of the hand, and he kind of closes it, and this blade of darkness just extends from his hand. And then Henri very, very casually comes up and just takes a swing at this guy. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
I believe... Okay, it still uses Dex, so 20, not natural.
That hit. You guys can roll lower than 20. Like, you're more than welcome to do that.
Let me... 7, 14... I can do math. 17 points of necrotic? No,
I think
psychic.
it's psychic, yeah.
Psychic damage.
Such a cool ability. You said 17, right?
Yeah.
With that, as you bring it across, you actually see him grimace, and you see just a little bit of blood leak out of his nose. And you notice the blood itself is very, very dark. In the bright light, you would expect it to be a little bit, of a bright red, and this is a very, very dark maroon kind of color.
Right, well, that was my bonus move and action, so I'm done.
All right, they get to do cool stuff now.
Okay.
The first thing that is going to happen is, the one directly in front of the commander pulls out both of his blades and attempts to stick both of them into the commander.
Yay!
I'm very kind.
That's 16 to hit.
That hits.
All right. You're going to take 6 piercing damage and 14 poison damage.
Oh!
And I need a Constitution saving throw.
I say no con save. Okay.
Yeah, the poison happens before the con save.
Gotcha. That is a... Oh, crap. Math. 23. I rolled a natural 17. I'm sorry.
So as the blade plunges into your side, it burns like it's on fire, and you can tell that there's some sort of poison on it. But as you feel it start to enter your bloodstream, you just kind of power through it and shake your head, and nothing really happens. And then he comes around with another slash at you. That's a 10.
No.
Ignore that.
I will.
So after that happens, the one that Briar hit takes the belt buckle and removes it and kind of points it at you. And I need a wisdom saving throw from you, Briar.
Balls, why? Why do you hate me?
So now she's from Georgia.
It's a 15.
15. Shit. All right. So you sit there and your head starts to feel a little bit funny, and you're not really sure what's going on, and then you kind of shake it off, and you see him kind of curse under his breath, put it back on his belt, and then you watch him walk up a tree.
Well, damn.
And he goes far enough up that you can't actually see him anymore. It just completely breaks line of sight with you. That is him. The one that is prone with Argenta is, again, going to pull off her belt buckle, point it at you, Argenta, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
That's not good. That one.
Okay. So you sit there and your world starts to get fuzzy a little bit, and you start hearing this voice in your head. You belong to me. You are no longer in control of yourself. You cannot take reactions, and you are charmed by this person for a day.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
So he or she stands up, whispers in your ear, "Kill them," and you watch her walk up a tree. But doesn't get very far because she had to use half her movement to stand up. So she's not really obscured. She's just, 15 feet in the air. The last one, who's facing off against Lillian, just takes his daggers out and decides that Lillian would look a lot better with more holes in her. That's a 2. Ignore that first one. Other dagger. Shit. Does an 11 hit you?
No.
Yeah. So, again, you can see something on the first dagger because the blade itself has kind of a very weird sheen to it that's not entirely metallic, and you immediately kind of dodge out of the way, and then you see another one coming straight for your face, and you bring your longsword up and just kind of parry it out of the way and get back ready for another attack. That takes care of them. They don't have that. Okay, no, that's fine. So that ends their turn. That's going to bring us back to the top of the order, which is actually Lillian.
Yeah. I brought the dagger and told her
Okay.
right. And that will be a 17.
All right, 17 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Right. 15.
Wow, you hit hard. All right, so as you slash against it, you do notice that the burn cut this time is seeping a little bit of blood. So obviously, they are taking this damage. You're still seeing no reaction from the pain, though. Or very, a grimace is all you're getting.
And then I go around for my second strike.
Okay.
14.
So as you come around for the second strike, he brings his dagger around and blocks your blade and just kind of smiles at you a little bit. All right. If the rest of you guys want to start rolling like that, I'm totally fine with that. Anything else you want to do with your turn, Lillian?
No.
Okay. That's going to bring us to Vala. Vala, you do notice something weird with Argenta. She started acting differently.
I'm just going to go, Argenta, are you okay? And meanwhile, I'm going to point my finger up at the one that had charmed him, her, and cast Firebolt at it.
Okay. It says bolt of fire shoots out from your finger.
Yep. I have to make a ranged spell attack.
Yepper.
25 to hit.
I was kind of hoping you were going to miss just for the fact that you've already set one fire. That does hit. You bastard.
Oh. I only do 8 damage.
8 damage? Okay. All right, so the bolt of fire, again, you don't really even see a reaction from it. Definitely hit, though.
Do I recognize that belt buckle that they had?
Okay, I have to remember your backstory for a second here to see if you would. Talk amongst yourselves. For a
Oh,
couple
wait,
seconds.
Jody.
Yes?
Jody. I have
You can't-
advantage against charms.
Wait, you can't be charmed if you're raging, can you?
No, that's a
that
different
is
barbarian.
Later.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's a different barbarian. I have advantage against charms. I forget I'm a half elf. Never mind, I'm still charmed. That's a 5.
Yeah, okay.
You have inspiration.
Oh, that's true.
Did I?
I'm going to say enough time has passed, and you got the advantage and everything. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
You would have had to use it then.
I figured.
And to be perfectly honest, with a D6, it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Not with the 5 that you rolled. Okay, now I'm remembering. All right, sorry. I had to remember who you were. Make me a history check, Vala.
10.
Something about it, and it doesn't look alien. It's obviously magic. There's some magical aspect to it. Beyond that, you got nothing.
Okay.
Is that end your turn?
I will use my bonus action to call out to the commander, hey, don't throw away your shot.
Okay.
To give him a D6 inspiration back.
Okay.
Oh.
I was sitting here. I was waiting for that, and I'm
What?
not gonna give.
Not gonna throw away your shot.
Okay.
I'm the only person in the world apparently who has not listened to the entire soundtrack of Hamilton yet. Cool. So is that at your turn?
That ends my turn.
Briar.
So I don't see the guy who just walked up a tree like some weird person.
You can't, from where you are currently, because you were hidden and he went into very, very dense foliage, you can't see. If you want to make a perception check, I'll let you use your bonus action to perception check to see him.
Then that's what I shall do. Perception, that's an 18.
Yeah, he's hard to see. He's going to have partial cover because there's branches and stuff in the way, but you can see him.
I get a general idea of where he is.
Oh, you can see him. Like you
Okay.
can see him. There's just branches in the way. Is all.
Is he within 15 feet of me?
No, he's because he basically went 30 feet straight up. And the tree itself is roughly about 15, 20 feet away from where you are. Yeah, he's probably closer to like 25, 30 feet when you factor angles in.
Okay, then I will not do what I was going to do and do Chill Touch instead. I cast Chill Touch. Don't fail me, pretty dice.
So you guys watch as Briar's hand extends and this kind of cold, icy hand just launches from it.
It's a 21.
Seriously, guys, like single-digit rolls are cool. Yeah, that hits.
Okay, that's 6 damage.
It's
remember
2
which-
dice now
Is it 2?
because you're 5th level.
Oh, then hang on. 12 damage.
There we go.
And he can't regain hit points. And if he's undead, he has disadvantage on attacks against me. I don't know if he's undead, but
Yeah, you might find out the next turn. How much damage was it again?
12.
Okay. That's gonna be
Thank you, pretty unicorn dice. I love you.
All right. Anything else you want to do with your turn? You're still up in a tree.
No.
Cool. That ends Briar's turn. Argenta.
Yep.
So, in your mind, you hear the words, kill the fire starter.
How far is Vala from me?
Only about 10, 15 feet.
Jesus. Okay, you're getting a 6-foot half drow running in your face.
All right.
Single digit rolls.
Go ahead and make an attack roll, and go ahead and use that inspiration on this attack roll.
Oh, that's mean. That's so mean.
24 to hit.
Does that hit you, Val?
It does indeed hit.
All right. Go ahead and roll damage.
You're lucky I'm not a two-handed barbarian. 10 slashing.
All right. So you watch as Argenta just has this look, and her eyes, her pupils are dilated, large enough that you almost can't see her irises anymore. And she just runs at you, hits you with her hand axe hard. Go ahead and make your second attack.
You're lucky. That's an 8.
Ion, you're kind of reckless. Do you get reckless attacks? At this point?
Oh.
Yeah, you're tasting the blood or smelling the blood of Vala. You're just like, no. So you go
That's a
reckless with
17.
this attack.
17.
Does that hit?
17 hits.
Oh.
What did my D6 roll? Where did my D6 go? I can't find my D6. Other D6. 9.
Ah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to use my reaction
Okay.
to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, you will.
All right. You're not a tiefling. How do you have hellish? Oh, never mind. Ignore what I'm saying.
Okay, so I have danger sense. I have advantage on dex saves.
I didn't know we were having
So that is a 15. Is that enough to save against you?
That is my spell DC.
So
That matches.
that does he does make the save. I think he still takes half damage.
Yep.
You take half damage. I'm casting it at first level, so it's only 2d10.
Only.
9.
So
9 plus 4.
So 13 halved is 6.5 rounded up is 7.
No.
No.
18 plus 4 is
22.
22. So you take 11 fire damage.
Oh, okay.
And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Do I get advantage?
I gotta look at this because I'm not actually 100% sure.
It's Fey ancestry, so you can look at elves or half elves. Same thing on both.
Well, it's the fact that it says repeat the saving throw. So yeah, since you're technically repeating the saving throw, generally, if it was worded differently, you wouldn't get it because you're just resisting instead of, the original thing.
So 2 dice. I'll use different dice. That is a 19.
Having these flames just kind of envelop your body, you kind of come back to your senses for a moment, and you see blood on your axe, and you see Vala bleeding a little bit in front of you.
I just kind of growl. and nod my head at you as I turn and look at the one that went up the tree. How far are they at this point?
Only about 20 feet ish. Like they climbed up a tree right next to where you knocked them over. So
I'm gonna run over to the tree as I say, "Thank you. I'm sorry."
oh yeah,
It's kind
'cause
of growled out.
You have more speed than normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to the base of the tree. They're again, they're about 15 feet up in the tree. So
Okay.
to reach them, you'll have to climb a little bit, which with your shield is just not going to be a pleasant affair if you attempt it. All right. Anything else you're doing on your turn,
Nope.
Commander?
Well, I mean, just keep him out of the fray. I'm going to keep attacking the one that's in front of me.
Okay.
Keep focused on me. Have 2 attacks. So that was plus. Crap. 22.
Yes.
22, sorry.
Yeah, if you roll higher than a 20, you're fine.
And 18.
18 damage?
No, 18 to hit the second hit.
Oh, both of them hit.
Okay. That
I've
is
completely forgotten which one of these is which.
9 on the first. Whew. And 11 on the second.
So that's a total of 20?
20, yeah.
Okay, he's looking rough. Because that's the one that Henri also slashed, right?
No.
Yeah,
Oh, was
I'm
it?
right next to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with that one.
Henri
Okay.
walked
sorry.
up beside you, pulled a blade of darkness out of the shadows, and then sliced this dude.
Nice. I thought you went for a different one. Okay.
Yeah. He looks rough.
Okay. And how besides the one that I was just attacking, how far is the closest one away from me?
Probably the one that Liliane is attacking, which is about 30 feet.
Okay. Is there any chance that I can? I don't know if you probably call it a full action, but I was wanting to put my rapier away and pull my bow out in preparation.
So you have a rapier, a bow, and fury?
You said last time I had a longbow too. I don't know if there was. That's too much. I'll take one off.
Is that? I'm assuming that came with your starting gear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then yeah, you would have it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say.
I wasn't gonna tell. Obviously can't shoot, but I just wanted to have it in preparation.
I'm gonna say you could put the sword away.
Okay, that's I'll do that then.
You wouldn't be able to draw the bow.
Okay.
Without an action.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do that.
Okay. Cool. Then that ends your turn. That brings us to Henri.
Well, since you like this psychic blade so much, let's do it again.
If it wasn't for the fact that I was trying to make this challenging, like it is such a cool spell.
Yeah, I read that and I'm like, I don't even care if it puts me in melee range. I want it. That is
massively cool.
17 to hit.
17 does hit. Roll damage.
Keep forgetting it's my dex for this, so yeah, it's 17, not higher.
Call me crazy. Doesn't it say? I'd have to read the spell again. I thought you could use your spellcasting modifier.
Well, it says it counts as a simple weapon which you are proficient with, simple melee weapon.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up because I could have sworn that it actually gave you. It lets you use your spellcasting modifier.
But
I'm just real quick gonna look up the spell because it's in Xanathar's, right?
Yeah,
And what's it called again?
Shadow Blade.
It starts with an S. Shadow Blade Illusion. Oh, it has the finesse, light, And thrown properties, in addition, dim light or darkness, you make it advantage. Yeah, no, it just, it's just a dex-based sword because of the finesse property. Okay, never mind then. So yeah, it does use your dexterity.
So
Or it
12.
could use your strength, but I don't think you want to.
-1 or a +3. 12 psychic damage.
12 psychic damage. So again, you cut into him, and again, he kind of reels in pain. The blade cuts, and it feels like it's cutting through flesh, but you don't see it actually cutting or anything like that. But you see more blood start to leak out of his nose. You see it start leaking out of his ears. You even see like a single bloody tear start rolling down his face. He looks less than pleased with you. With that, he turns to you, grabs the belt buckle, and points it at you. And I need.
I have a question.
I have an answer. Let's see if they match.
If he counts as undead, he needs a wisdom saving throw.
He does not count as undead.
Okay. In that case, I will roll with advantage if it's the charm thingy.
It is a charmed effect.
It's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save, affirmative.
I have proficiency with those. I didn't realize that. 21.
Ignore him. He puts the belt back and just readies himself. You know what? No, he doesn't. Due to the fact that you put away your weapon, Commander, he's going to dart away. Henry, you're going to get an opportunity attack. Commander, if you want to try to make one, you can, but it will be maybe with fists.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Because you put your sword away.
Yeah, you're right. I know.
16?
16 does hit. I don't think he's going to live through this.
What do I do? Add to my roll?
Okay.
Strength and
Strength.
proficiency.
13 psychic.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So you see him kind of juke out of the way and start going, and as he goes away, Henri, you take a just for thematic effect, you take a slash at him. He dodges out of the way, starts running. You just pick up the blade and throw it, and it plants itself at his back, and he drops to the ground. And then you extend your hand, and the blade appears in your hand again. That's not how the spell works, but it sounds cooler.
I mean, it actually says you can make it reappear.
Throw it and everything. It normally takes a bonus action to call it back as
I
all.
do have a free bonus action, so there you go.
So, yeah. It sounded cooler. So he's gone. I have 3 other people. The one in the tree that, he doesn't have anyone near enough to him for him to do a whole lot of anything. What can he do? He disappears.
Hmm.
The one in the tree over by Vala and Argenta, as you come forward, he jumps down on you.
Okay.
And is going to try to stab you.
Yep, they have advantage.
Let's see if I can get a crit. Well, 23 for the first one.
That'll hit.
All right, so it's 6 piercing plus 14 poison and a
So
constitution save.
3 piercing and 14 poison, so 17 total.
Yep.
Con save is a 26.
You fail. And then he comes around with the other. He comes around with the other blade. That's actually going to be. See if I can crit. No, 24.
Is it the same damage?
No, this is 8 piercing damage. It's a different dagger that doesn't seem to have
Okay.
poison on it.
So that's 4, so 21 total.
Yep. And then he, after jumping out of the tree, he books it. So you can get an opportunity attack on him if you want.
Sure. That's a 19 to hit.
And that hits. Roll damage.
Ooh, max 11.
He's going to be that one. All right. And he is outside the range. Or no, because the bonfire is right by him. He's towards the edge of the bright light now.
Okay.
Running his ass off. And then the one fighting Vala. Or not Vala, Liliane. Yeah, he's going to give this a shot. Takes off her belt buckle. Points at you, Liliane. Wisdom saving throw, please.
And you're muted, Lillian.
Eight.
8. You feel...
Although I have inspiration.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You have what?
You gave me inspiration last
Oh, yeah.
time.
So if you want, did you want to use the inspiration?
Yeah, and that would be 22.
What? I was thinking of Vala's inspiration. Oh, shit.
Yeah, you did. I remember that one.
Yeah, no. You feel your mind go cloudy, and then it's not. Seeing this and seeing the crazy girl with the flaming sword, his back is actually to the river. So he can't actually to run away. No, he's just going to stay there and get ready for a fight.
Oh boy.
Because he can't get away. He has a river at his back. Brings us back to the top of the order, Liliane.
Yeah, and I know and
Definitely hits.
yeah, I mean, 9, 11 total damage.
Okay. He's looking rough.
And then that will be a 2 surrender.
All right. So again, blocks your dagger, gets back down into defensive stance, or blocks your longsword with his dagger. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
Okay. Vala.
I am gonna head over towards Liliane
Okay.
and position myself in such a way that I can hit the assailant with a 15-foot cone, but not Liliane,
Yeah, definitely doable.
and use Burning Hands.
Okay. So really, the people in the most danger right now are the trees.
Mm-hmm.
But it's right next to a river.
Fires still burn. Like, rivers don't, like, automatically just jump up and try to protect the trees around them. You can still burn a forest to the ground with a river in the middle.
He did say he wanted to burn the tent down.
He gets a saving throw.
Dex, yeah.
He makes it.
Okay.
I'm assuming. Does a 20 beat your...
20 does.
Yeah.
So
Half damage.
So he takes only half damage from this.
4.
However, he's not doing super swell right now.
Don't kill him.
13 halved.
Okay. So that's 6. You burn him, like, the burns themselves are kind of oozing blood and things like that. Again, the blood is much darker than you would kind of expect it to be. But he's still upright. He doesn't look happy. And still has yet to make a sound.
Okay then. Oh wait. For my bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and cast Healing Word on myself.
You cannot.
Okay. I will not do that then.
2 leveled spells, because Burning Hands. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. Nope. Not a problem.
Cool.
That's my turn.
That ends your turn, Briar.
Okay, so the one in that I was fighting with in the tree. Is he the one who disappeared?
Yep.
Okay. Can I see the one that Vala and Leanne are fighting?
Yeah.
Okay,
Without difficulty.
Then I'm going to shoot them with my crossbow.
Okay. What's the range on that again? The minimum range?
Hold please.
Hand crossbow. It's not that big. I think it's 30 feet.
Is it?
Yeah, hand crossbow does not have great range because it's small.
Can I change that to chill touch then?
Yeah, you can. That's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
hand crossbow is like 30, 120, I think it is.
That's the one.
So.
Okay, so that is a.
Now you cannot get sneak attack on a spell attack. It
Yeah,
has
I know.
to be a weapon attack. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a 20 to hit.
Definitely hits. Roll damage.
2d8.
6.
And as you sit there, the hand grasps around his throat. His eyes kind of go bug-eyed, and then he hits the ground, unmoving.
Sweet.
Anything else you want to do?
Can I try to see if the guy's still here? The one that was in the tree?
Just due to the fact that he literally has just vanished, that would take an action.
Okay, then yeah, I'm done.
Okay. That was you. Argenta.
So how far did she make it away from me?
What is their speed? I haven't looked. Yeah, 30 feet.
Okay, so the first thing I do is I run 20 feet towards her and rear back as I throw my hand axe at her.
Your hand crossbow?
That's
Is that like you ran out of bullets, so you throw the gun?
a 17 to hit.
That does hit.
They take 2 plus 5 is 7.
All right.
And then as
The
I
axe
finish,
slashes, hits the ground.
they die? Or
No, the axe hits the ground.
Oh. Okay. And then as I get to them, and they're wincing from the pain, I go with my now free hand to try to grapple them around the neck.
Okay. That'll be strength, athletics. Do you have acrobatics? No. Wait. Wow, you have a lot of different skills. None of them are acrobatics, but
Okay, so I'll use this die and this die all together at once.
that's not gonna be good.
All right. I got a 26.
So as you get there, you are able to grab him
And then
or her.
as
actually.
I have her around the throat, I start pulling her back 5 feet because I still have 10 feet of movement.
Okay. Cool. That ends your turn. Commander, you are up.
So one went invisible. She grabbed that one.
The other two are dead.
Those who are dead. Perfect. All right, cool. Do I guess the tree that the preacher is up. I can see the tree, correct? Or is that kind of out in dim light
Yeah,
right
you
now?
can see. You can see the preacher in the tree.
All right. Is there by any chance that I could see the individual that was climbing the tree? Or is
No,
it
it was
just-
it was a different tree. You can see the preacher and the tree that she's in. It was
Okay.
a different tree that this other guy just walked up. And you were your back was to him when he did that, so you technically don't know
Oh,
what tree it was.
gotcha.
The
Okay,
only
cool.
one that saw him do that was Briar. Everyone else had their back.
All right, cool.
which might have been done by design. Again, from a tactical with you being a tactician, from a tactical standpoint, it was a very, very smart move.
Yeah. I'll move closer to the one that closer to Argenta with the one that in the individual he has.
Okay.
And I just want to make just a general perception check just to see if there's anybody else near around.
Sure. Roll me a perception check.
Okay. 20, not natural.
The only one you can see is the one that Argenta's got a grab on.
Okay. And that's my turn.
All right. That's going to bring us down to... And see, this is the weird thing. Commander's at 18. Henri is at 7.
There's no middle ground.
Nothing in between that. Henri, you're up.
Well, seeing as how the other one's grappled and I guess prone?
No, I just have her around. I have her around the neck, and I've dragged her 5 feet back.
Oh. I do not want to kill the last one, so I'm just gonna be on the lookout, I guess, and just kind of... How can I put this? I want to, very discreetly, take a vial and fill it with this person's blood that I killed.
Okay, you'll have to move forward a little bit to do that, but you can do that.
Okay.
Make a sleight of hand check.
19.
Okay. Nobody's got a passive perception that high, do they?
No.
Okay.
Mine's a 20, but I'm not looking.
Okay. Then, yeah, nobody recognizes. Holy crap, you damn rogues.
Sorry.
Oh, rogues.
Rogues and bards with your expertise.
I mean, I've technically got an expertise, but it's not neither of those.
This individual counts as humanoid, correct? Really quick?
Yes.
Okay. That's my turn.
All right. I need a... I have to see how this spell works at higher levels. I don't remember. I was not expecting to use this particular spell.
10th level TPK.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Oh, shit. All right. Vala, Argenta, Commander. I need you all to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh, boy.
And no, you don't get advantage on this one.
Okay, so it's not a charm.
No, they're not charming.
Okay, so I'll use my critical roll die. Okay. I got a 17.
Okay. You're okay? Vala?
13?
You are not. Commander?
9.
You are not. Vala and the Commander, you guys feel your muscles seize. And you can't move.
Ah, crap.
Oh boy.
Argenta, you start feeling your muscles seize, but they don't. They don't. And
Did the one around, the one I have the throat of, do something weird, or was it not from her?
oh, it was definitely.
I don't
her.
know it.
You.
Oh,
yeah,
it's from her?
You are super, super close to her. You're pretty sure that's what happened. That ends her turn. And Henri, you were trying to look, right? Like that was what you were doing with your turn?
No, I was mainly just looking to see if anyone was watching me before I collected the blood. Is what I was doing.
Oh, okay. So you weren't. Okay. Then, yeah. The other one, nobody knows where it went.
Okay.
That ends that. Lillian, you are up.
Alright, so the other one that grappled.
Yeah, the only one that you guys are aware of left is the one that's grappled.
Alright.
He's about, or she's about, a good 60 feet away from where you are.
Oh.
Actually, closer to 90 feet now, because she ran and was going in the opposite direction than you were.
Alright. So the one I was fighting is dead?
Yes, Briar strangled her to death with a chill touch.
I kneel down and see if I recognize the belt buckle.
Sure. I have to remember your backstory really quick. Normally it would not be this bad. My brain is just completely shot. Which is why I have to keep looking this stuff up. Yes. Totally. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a history check. Sorry about that, guys.
7.
Nothing.
Alright. Then I just ready myself for more of a
Okay. That brings us back to Vala. You're paralyzed. Then that brings us to Briar. You're not.
I'm gonna climb down the tree because I don't know where the other dude went.
Yep.
And then start heading towards the guy that's currently grappled, or the chick that's grappled.
Okay. You're able to, if you just drop out of the tree, you can roll and negate the damage, and you're able to make it within about 40 feet of the grappled girl.
I'm gonna say I actually climb down it.
Oh, okay.
Taking my time.
Then yeah, you're within 55 feet.
All right. That's all I'm gonna do.
Okay. That brings us to Argenta. You're
I'm
the
just gonna
chick
be
that knows magic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, "You arcane bitch," and I take her. I'm holding her by the throat, and I lift her a bit as I drive my forehead into her nose, and I'm doing this recklessly.
Okay. It is going to basically be an unarmed strike.
Yeah. So 17 plus 6. Yeah, that hits. So she takes 6 damage.
You have a
Non-lethal.
strength modifier. Oh wait, because that makes
I'm
sense.
raging.
All right. I gotta look again. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Vala and the commander, you guys get the ability to move again.
Oh, thanks.
And then as after I headbutt her, I, still holding her neck, bring her body to the side as I lift my knee up into the side of her head.
Okay. You're gonna make another attack roll.
That's an 18 to hit, and if it hits, she takes another 6 damage.
Okay. I have to do math here. All right. She seems less than pleased with you. You think any chance of a date? Gone now.
I pull her back another 20 feet towards everybody, and I'm just like, leave her alive. But hurt her.
Okay. Commander, you have regained the ability to move.
Dang, I was going to pull the whole oil can thing, but never mind. Well, how far away from Argenta am I?
Since she moved another 20 feet, let's just say 30 feet to make it easy.
All right, I'll move my entire movement 30 feet, and then we'll redraw my rapier, and I'll hold it as Argenta is holding. I put my rapier up to her throat.
Okay.
Just to make sure of any extra spells are not cast.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Brings us to Henri.
What I was going to do, I feel will take a lot of time. I was going to cast Speak with Dead, so I figure I'll wait till out of combat.
Yeah, I believe that's like a minute.
Yeah, and I'll just instead take the belt buckle, the one that I collected the blood from.
Okay. You trying to do that secretively or no?
Oh no, I only
Okay.
wanted to take the blood in secret.
All right, so belt buckle comes off.
I just wanted it.
Yeah. Commander, you see her spit in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And then Argenta, you feel your grip. You're holding her, and suddenly you aren't. And you're kind of watching this. You because she spit in your eyes, Commander. You blink just long enough for her to get the incantation of a spell out. Argenta and Vala, you guys are able to see her, though this spell is probably above both of you guys as far as ability. But you watch this kind of portal appear behind her, and she just falls into it and disintegrates as she goes through it, which makes your grip around her just vanish, and then she's gone.
Do I not get an attack of opportunity?
Not with Dimension Door, no.
Balls. Okay.
Well, that's a nifty
I
trick.
just kind of rifle my fingers, and I'm just like, I hate the arcane. And then I go over to pick up my hand axe.
Yeah, when you said you put your rapier up to her throat, it was one of those things like, shit, that would be a very quick way to prevent vocal components of a spell, which is why she spit in your eyes, Commander.
Dang it.
It was literally the only way she would be able to get off the spell.
But it would be like I would be able to just like slide it as she spit in my face, but never mind. Don't worry about it.
Not unless you specifically told me that you were going to, if she did anything, you were going to run her through, because that would also be basically an execution. Like she's not going to live through that.
I mean, I don't know. I said anything arcane, but it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, spitting, remarkably enough, not arcane.
Yeah, not arcane. You're right. I'll shut up.
So, you guys are now alone in the forest.
I put my hand axe to my side after wiping some of the blood off, and I put my hand on Vala's shoulder, and I'm just like, you okay?
I am. I'm sorry for having to burn you like that.
It's fine, I cut you.
I'm glad it worked out.
You guys suddenly hear a and you notice Colin has just loosed an arrow into the darkness. And after he does that, he dashes off in the direction of his arrow.
I suggest we follow him.
Yeah. Follow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as you guys follow as quickly as you can, kind of throwing caution to the wind, you see him get another arrow and loose it. And this time, whatever it hit was close enough that you hear it sink into something fleshy.
I pull out my short bow and I take 2 arrows into my finger and 1, 2.
And you hear Colin go, "Don't."
Okay. I just hold the arrows in my hands, so.
She doesn't have much left. And as you guys come over, you see the woman that disappeared just a few minutes ago, lying, crouching actually, in a steadily growing pool of her own blood, barely conscious, with an arrow protruding through her calf. What would you guys like to do?
I say to Colin, "Nice shot."
Go ahead.
You want to go ahead and grovel her again to make sure we can keep her in one place?
Sure. Instead of just grappling her, I just put a heavy hand on her shoulder with my silver dagger in the other, just so she knows.
So as she does that, she looks at you and goes, "You have no idea what you've done." And faster than you were really expecting, you see her dagger come out and plunge into her stomach.
Can I get... No, I'm right.
I kind of grimace as I see her do that, and I'm just like...
Because
If she wants-
she was kind of holding her stomach and everything with the dagger in it already. So all she had to do was twist it and put it in.
I'm just like, if you want to die that way, I put my silver dagger to her throat and slit it.
Okay.
To make it
Well,
quicker.
she's doubly dead now.
Yeah, and then I throw her corpse to the ground, and I'm just like, they're loyal.
And Colin goes, "Damn it."
I'll go up to Commander and be like, do you still want to talk to her?
Well, considering the fact that they don't fear death makes me worried that we have...
And as you say that, Colin turns to you and goes, "She's dead, you moron. I don't care what kind of spell casting you have, she's dead."
I'll just begin casting Speak with Dead.
Yeah, as you did, I was going to say, but we should still try every avenue we can get.
So you succeed on the spell. Colin is freaked out.
No, I don't want to pull down my hood. That'll freak Colin out even more.
Yeah, he is not okay with this. He's kind of stunned into silence. I believe it's 3 or 5 questions you get.
It's 5, and I'll leave it to Commander to ask him.
Okay. So you see her start breathing again, and her eyes open. They're dead. But you hear this air kind of get pushed through her vocal cords. Yes.
Huh. What should we ask?
Well, I could start with
I just want to, just to give a
5
general idea.
questions.
Yeah.
You could find out.
But we want to go who set her, don't we?
Yeah, more or less.
So first question is who do you work for?
I have to remember how sneaky this can be.
Because they can choose to lie, can't they?
No, I don't believe they can.
Oh, I thought there was like a save. But...
I can think it probably be invaders.
Answers are usually brief,
Oh
cryptic.
yeah.
Yeah, they're under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer.
You
This is
can-
actually Henri,
So-
actually, right?
Yeah. She goes, "My master."
Dick.
Can't really intimidate a ghost.
Not taking
Well,
too many goes, but-
again, Henri, you, all of you are more than just your characters. You have a legend behind you. So
Yeah.
feel free to use your legend whenever you want.
I will pull the hood down. I'll give a warning. I'll be like, just look away, Colin. And I'll pull my hood down. And I will begin to say that I'm sure you've heard of me. And if you want to have your soul travel to whatever god you believe in, I'm hungry and it looks delicious. You will answer my questions.
Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh, beautiful. That would be a 30.
Jesus.
She hasn't changed. She's still a speaking corpse. But go ahead and ask your next question if you'd like.
I'll ask, what does Kynan want with Dorme?
She says, he wants what his master has told him to want. He does not know the value of the land, the purpose of the land, only its value.
I think I got my next question. What is the value and purpose of the land?
We do not know the purpose. The value is priceless.
Thinking I'm beating a dead horse here. Anyone got any ideas? And I'll apologize in advance for what they're saying.
I kind of, as he's asking the questions, I kind of look over her person. Have I fought this type of people before?
You haven't.
I
Which
haven't?
is interesting, because you've fought a lot of different people. So
I don't
that
recognize-
in itself is unique.
I don't recognize the belt buckle or anything.
No.
Okay.
There are no markings that you recognize. There's no there. You do recognize your kind of standard covert ops get up, where there's really no identifying factors other than the belt buckle. There's really nothing on it that could be used to identify who she is, and that's done on purpose.
All right.
Do I recognize that symbol on the belt?
You personally, you would not.
Okay.
There's only I think 2 people in the party that might, and both of them have rolled pretty poorly. So
Ask.
you got 2 more questions, and
Yeah.
she seems much more talkative after Henri said something to her. So
If you don't have any other questions, ask her if she knows the Bloody Fang.
I think other people can ask questions too.
yeah, anyone can ask a question.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm just throwing that to the group.
Okay. So is that the question you want to ask or no?
yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay. She she says yes, as do many others.
He's involved, or they're involved, or whatever the hell it is involved. And
I think I have an idea for the last question.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'll run it by the group first. What about finding out where Kynan is from, like city-wise? So we at least know where to start investigating. Unless someone else has a different question.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, so I will ask what city or what house does Lord Kynan hail from?
The city is Merovingian.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to
The
confirm.
house is Dampierre.
I believe that was the fifth question. And
You hear,
to keep appearances up, I will make it look like I'm devouring the soul.
okay.
You said you weren't going to do that.
You said you were on a diet. Sorry.
That is 600 Weight Watchers points, by the way.
What was the house that she said?
She said city was Merovingian.
Mhm.
House was Dampierre.
I'm assuming spelled the French way.
Dampierre.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Argenta's just kind of like wild-eyed as she looks around and she sighs and she's just like, the previous mercenary company that I worked for, or was a part of, I should say, we met our end to a similar explosion that happened to these people. And the Bloody Fang was essentially the person that either called the hit on us or was hired to do the hit. I've been hunting him down since.
I'll start putting my hood up so Colin's hopefully not as freaked out with me.
He's still speechless. You just animated a corpse and then devoured its soul. You think you might have burned that bridge.
I'm just
Briar staring in pure hatred.
You guys did notice when Henri lowered his hood. Henri, go ahead and describe what your face looked like, because they all unfortunately would have gotten a very good look at it.
I have very long, unkept white hair. Like, I haven't cut it in God knows how long. I have a marking over my right eye that just looks like 4 claw marks drug across the eye, but more intricate than just claw marks. And my eyes are 2 different colors. One's red, one's yellow. The one with the marking has the red eye.
Heterochromia, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Ink.
And your skin is ebony black?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm drow, sorry.
No, I was just
in
like,
the moment with this spell.
yeah, I gotcha.
I kind of lean to Vala and I'm just like, another one of us joins.
Lillian and Vala, and probably Briar. Go ahead and make me history checks.
Cool.
19.
Okay. Lillian?
4.
Okay. Briar?
22.
So Vala, you don't recognize the symbol itself on his eye, but something about it looks familiar. Like it's definitely not a scar. You think it may be some sort of script, maybe arcane in nature. You're not sure. Briar, you don't recognize the mark. You recognize the language, though. it's a vampiric sigil.
Interesting.
The rest of you guys are oblivious.
Just gonna keep that bit of information to myself for now.
Yeah, I'm just watching the forest burn from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bonfire went out after a minute.
Yes, but the fire you started with burning hands.
I kind
You're
of
relatively certain that you guys can hear shouts and things like that coming from across the river. You're relatively certain that within probably 10-15 minutes here, your area is going to be overrun with mercenaries
Oh,
as they see the fire.
Yeah,
Okay,
we should.
I'm going to reach. I'm going to reach down and take her belt buckle, and then
Okay.
I'm just going to be like, "We should book it."
Yeah, we should.
yeah.
If not get back to the town, then at least get away from here.
Yes, now that I've left my calling card.
Oh my god.
I mean,
And that is where we are going to end it for tonight.
on the way back, I just start humming Firestarter.
Again, if you missed any of the episode, it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter. I'm at TrainerJody there. This Friday at 6 p.m. Central, I'm going to be doing a kind of a how-to guide on getting hired in the U.S. because I used to work in staffing and interviewing. So I'll be talking about resumes. I'll be talking about the hiring process in general. I'll be doing a mock interview with another person. So if that's something that's interests you, like I said, I worked in the industry for about 4 years. Did quite a few interviews. Staffed a couple of different stores. Feel free to tune into that. Otherwise, every Wednesday night I run games here, and this Saturday I'll be running a game over on Zelda Universe. It's a Zelda RPG. So that's twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV. Anyway, that's all for me today. I will see you guys next time, all right? Bye-bye.